Welcome to another episode of my Motortown playthrough. Today we are back at the Namdang lumber mill, pretty much in the heart of Oldley. And since I discovered last time that we can actually buy the Kübelwagen over here, I decided why not? We might as well use it on the way back to Megium and also just check out how nicely it drives. So let's see, it's rear-wheel driven rear engine vehicle, i4 190 horsepower, so it's not gonna be too amazingly fast. 4-speed sports transmission, comfort 1, well, okay. But I've been told that this is actually a very good off-road vehicle, even in its stock form, so let's put that to the test. It's a cute little vehicle, definitely, and it should be pretty nice to drive, at least. Soft suspension definitely helps out with these roads quite a lot here. Oh god. Not so good over the big rocks, but what can you do? Maybe to amp up the stakes here a bit, we could just go for the off-road return trip. So not taking the 10 kilometers and just going around the place, but just straight through and trying to connect to the dead end in Megium, or the cul-de-sac there. Honestly, I'm not too sure about this vehicle. I've been a bit weirded out by them adding something like this. I mean, the Limousine is also an old-style military vehicle, just as this one here. But that one is still in active duty here and it's being used for something, while this seems more like a bit of a museum piece. So while it's definitely a cool and niche vehicle, I think for what the game is right now, it feels like it's maybe a bit too niche. At least I would maybe think that it shouldn't be appearing in traffic. I don't know, that might just be my own weird ideas for the game. But to me it certainly seems like this would be one that's so rare that you would barely ever see it anywhere in public. So if you get it from somewhere, drive it yourself, that's alright, but as a regular traffic vehicle, I don't know. So let's see how it handles the off-roading. Once you even get off the beaten path here. And I mean, yeah, of course, being on the dirt here is still a bit different than being on the dirt road. But we can already tell that there are some traces for future roads here. So it should be easy enough getting up there. Famous last words. I wish this thing would be going a bit quicker. I could use the run-up for this hill here. I'm not entirely sure if we can actually make it. Okay, this seems alright. I mean, in the end there are a few techniques that I can employ, maybe going back and forth side by side instead of hitting the incline head on. But yeah, we are about to... I mean, I can just go straight and see where I can go towards the path the easiest. But overall, this should be a very easy connection to make. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Also, thanks to Diego Kevin in the comments, I've now I have an idea what the Limousin dump is for. So something that I missed is that apparently Mr. Wang already said that in the next update, or at least in another update soon to come, there should be a remote village, and the different Limousin variants should be there for transporting different supplies to that village to help building up. Which sounds pretty cool, looking forward to that. I remember, and I don't know if this is gonna be that one in particular, if it's unrelated, but I remember a suggestion on the Discord that sounded pretty similar to that we should have major updates basically being announced, and us getting some delivery point which needs certain supplies before that update really drops, and basically we would have a community goal to deliver a certain amount of supplies to that point before we can kinda unlock it for it to be released and then actually enjoy the stuff coming out. I kinda hope it's not going that direction, because that kind of thing could end up being pretty grindy. One of Motor Town's biggest strengths is that it is a variety game. Oh god. Also a game with bad drivers like me in it. So you have a lot of different activities to do, and you can choose what you want to do. Some of the stuff, of course, if you want to make a lot of money, you go for something specific. If you just like doing some stuff like bus driving or tow trucking, you just do more of that. But in the end, it's not really dictating you to do something specific for a long time, unless maybe you're looking for a certain unlock or something. But yeah, doing something like that with the future updates, like needing to deliver certain amounts of supplies to unlock a new town or something, I think they could get boring rather quickly. Then again, there could also be a different variation of this, where we just get the update, but maybe there is a mechanic where some of the stuff comes in construction sites and we just help build that up. Might just be a generic, just a generic building without any purpose or something. Would be nice to have some dynamic stuff like that happening. Maybe also a deconstruction job later down the line. So some plots could maybe be demolished, and then later a different building is put up at that point, and it would just be a bit of a cycle. That could be kind of cool. Anyways, we are back at the medium warehouse, and I'm just gonna... Oh god, I put it to numbers. Of course, I'm not finding anything here. We need the name, and yeah, we want to go bottom to the top. Just to get the title out real quick. Ignore the police. They can come here if they want anything. And knowing the pathfinding, there's a good chance that they cannot come here. Okay, so let's lower the landing gear, attach the trailer, maybe also start the engine again, and see if we can make our way to the actual warehouse loading point without being caught. Okay, I would like to go to this lumber mill here. And yeah, we can load up to 8 units here, and it also has cargo damage, so that should be a pretty decent bonus if we deliver stuff without incident. Shouldn't be too difficult. Unless that cop has other plans for me. But let's just go and see how it works out. I kind of want to focus an episode more on the Savanna and give that an upgrade and just look what I can do with that, but I think since we need to go to upgrade shop anyways, and I want to do this trip as well, might as well combine the two. And yeah, of course I have my game sounds low again. So while I can hear the sirens and everything, the engine isn't really that prominent and therefore I sometimes miss the shifting. Could just maybe switch over to auto shifting again, but I don't really want to do that. Whoa, that was a bit on the risky side there. Also, since I already got the Limousi tanker, I did a bit of milk delivery with it just to try it out, and it's quick. It's a very capable vehicle, and I didn't see it getting slowed down too much by its load, so that should be pretty good there. Also, I'm curious how tanker trailers work in real life. If they are um, rated by the weight that they can carry or by their volume. Because right now what we have here is that all the liquid transporters they are categorized by how many tons they can carry. But with different liquids and different densities, that would mean that if we can have 40 tons of fuel, which I think has a slightly higher density than milk, that would mean that the tanker is actually not quite as full with fuel as it is with milk. If it was in liters or cubic meters, then it would be kind of different. Then it would always fill up to the same amount of volume, but in one case the trailer would be lighter than in the other one. A bit more akin to how containers work. So, I don't know. I don't know how the classification and everything works, so I mean both kind of make sense in their own right. If we had some really heavy liquid like, let's say something stupid like liquid lead or something, then I would guess that you would reach the weight limit before you would reach the volume capacity. But if you were to fill it with something very light, I don't know what that would be. I mean, fat is lighter than water at least. Then you could fill it up, but it would still be not that heavy. Then again, as it is right now in the game, it is classified by weight, so that might just be the realistic one. And yeah, we are just cruising along here. Maybe could get a bit more speed going. Now I'm kinda missing the cop that was after me earlier. That would make things at least a little bit more interesting here. But there's no real way of breaking the speed limit here. Only thing I could do would be ramming other people or just going into the opposite line, and I don't really want to do that. I've also seen some suggestions about um, just adding a highway that cuts straight through OG, just pretty much like that bridge over there, and just straight line for God knows how long. Honestly, I don't think the game would be profiting from that. It would not be beneficial in the long run. Sure, things would be easier, would be faster, but in the end, I think that stretch of straight line highway was pretty good for what it was, just a bit of relaxation. But anything much longer than that would just be boring. Although maybe if some of the desert parts were straightened out a bit, I wouldn't be against that. Having a bit more space where we can actually accelerate the truck, even though, I mean, we can see it already, it doesn't really go that fast to begin with. And then having to brake again, I don't know. It works both ways. The desert road isn't really bad as it is, but I think it could also be benefiting for being a bit more varied. So some corners that are a bit more tough, but also some straighter parts. But then again, people would likely shortcut the tighter corners. I know I do already. Not really any problem with it though, so no real reason to make a problem where none needs to be. Same as with this truck here. No real reason to put it on its side, so I should maybe just try to avoid that. But yeah, I still hope we get another connection to Senho sooner than later to the refinery. Because ultimately, I'm not really enjoying the trips down there too much anymore. Still need to do some of it for other different things around the map, like the plastic factory and all of that. 34k for this one. Oh, that's not too shabby. Not gonna be enough for major upgrades for the Kübelwagen, but well, we'll see what we can get. I mean, I own a lot of stuff already, so we don't need to pay for everything here. And that's exactly why I own so many things, just so that I don't have to just buy everything outright if I don't have the money for it. Okay, let's despawn the trailer. Let's despawn the semi-truck here. $47 vehicles now. It's getting quite full. Having a bit of a sore throat today. I should maybe buy something against it. But that might be for tomorrow if my toe is actually not broken. I'm not entirely sure right now. Okay, anyways, we are at the place where we can actually upgrade the car, so let's see what we can do here. From what I heard, it might have some nice extras, but once again, before we do that, let's refresh all the buses. 100% body damage and 1% radiator. Yeah, sure, I'll replace that. Let's see, what kind of paint schemes do we have here? This is just single body and roof, seat, whatever. Sketched up version, the little dog one with a pink body. And yeah, we have seen the flower one for quite a while now. Oh, with a nice little detail here. I wish these kind of things were really just PNGs, so still being able to just change the base color. Would be nice having the thing on the side, but still being able to change the color of the rest of the vehicle. Now that's just an orange version. I mean, it's slightly two-tone. But this kind of two-tone would also be nice if we could just color it in our own paint scheme. So if I want to change the color, I have to go with this one here. I'm not entirely sure what kind of color I want for this one, to be honest. You know what? I kind of liked, yeah, this one here. But let's go with that. Roof can be theoretically fully black. I'll just go with gray again. Window I don't care too much about. Seats could be slightly darker, I guess. And that shall be it for the coloring. Not gonna get into decals here, but let's see what we can do with the rest of the vehicle. Of course, gonna go with radiator. Short intake for more horsepower. I don't usually go for the longer one. That gives a bit more torque, and that can actually help accelerating a bit faster. But in the end, a lot of vehicles kind of suffer from having too much torque and then just spinning out whenever you apply it. So that's definitely something like too much of a good thing. I think I might just go for the inline 4 stronger version here. I mean, I have the engines, might as well use them. Turbocharger, I got another stage 1 thankfully, so don't need to pay for that. 4 speeds is always a bit iffy in my opinion. I don't need 6 speeds for all of the vehicles, it's a bit more heavy. So for something this light I would definitely prefer the lighter transmission as well. Cannot really tell what kind of final drive ratio we need, since we went from one inline 4 to another. I mean, the transmission is different now, so we might need to adjust it in the future. Let's go for racing pack. Brake pads. And yeah, I always want to keep some in the back if I need to. So what I learned in this game is that it's always a good idea to go for harder front springs than back springs, because that gives you a bit more stability. But as it is right now, I mean, I don't even know what I want to do with the vehicle, so I mean, you know what? Let's check the arrow. Okay, we can close the top, and that's actually pretty nice. I've rarely seen this one with the top up, so this is kind of cool. We have different front bumpers. Can we also just... No, we cannot remove it, but we can switch it up. So as I've been told, it's pretty good for an off-road vehicle. 30 kilograms for the default version. What's the difference between this one and this one right here? Looks the same to me, weighs the same, so I'm not entirely sure about what's going on here. Might be with the paint that I applied that it's overwriting whatever color that should be. So if I want to ever use this in a race, it would be hard to justify anything that weighs more than it needs to. No spoilers, that's a bit disappointing. I was hoping for something like a time attack spoiler on this thing. So we'll keep it stock here. And that's gonna be it. I mean, roof weighs the same either way, and since I cannot dynamically open and close the roof, I would rather have it up. I'm not really too much of a fan of open top convertibles, so this suits me better, and especially when it comes to raining. Yeah, I kind of want to go with this one here. So let's see, we can have a taxi license, and it's actually attaching to the front window frame, or windshield frame. And we can also attach a roof rack, and that might actually look better if we keep the thing open. How heavy is that? 70 kilos, so that's yeah, that's not a good thing here. Unless I want to turn this into more of a cargo vehicle. But let's see how that looks with the roof down. Okay, wait a second. I need to look at this a bit closer, but I think I'm seeing a bit of a problem here. So basically, when you have the roof up, it's yeah, the cargo bed is clipping through here in a few ways, and I mean, yeah, it's kind of to be expected. However, I think it was aerodynamic. Let's put it back down. Also a bit weird having to purchase this upgrade. Yeah, now it's kind of piercing into the laid down roof, so I don't know. I think this might need a bit of work, or just the option to completely remove the convertible roof. God, the brakes are awful. Okay, that definitely needs some work. Some more brake power here. This might be too much, but we'll see about that. Also, of course, tires, upgrades. Let's just get the good ones. No real reason to waste much time on that. I don't know if I ever took the off-road tires for anything. I think for some vehicles, but I don't know if I use them in an event or something. I mean, for this one, it kind of needs to be the Fortem tires. The Fuchs tires. I got one too many, that's triggering my OCD, so getting rid of that. Oh god. I should have seen this coming. But evidently I didn't. Okay, this could be interesting. It's a bit of a handful with the suspension. That's also another post that I was meaning to make. I had the idea when I was at my family's, but I didn't want to type it out on the phone. But yeah, essentially what I would like the game to do is get rid of the whole suspension and damper strength 100%, 120, 150, 200, 500%, and give us real values for that. Because right now, if you buy a certain car like this one with a very soft suspension, and you get another one with a harder one, then basically it's all not the same ever. You will never get, or if you do, it's more of an accident, the same suspension strength on both vehicles. Your 100% are different, and therefore 500% are different as well. And especially when it gets to something like the semi-trucks, I would like to have the same full strength suspension on one of my larger, heavier trucks as well as on the SRT, because that could actually save it to be a bit more usable for actual heavy-duty trucking if it doesn't just go on its knees when you attach a heavy trailer. But since the rear suspension starts out being lighter, then I cannot really just add the heavier, more stiffer one that I could get for some of the other trucks. So instead of 100, 200, 300, 500% stuff, I would rather get some actual stiffness values, the actual spring rates, and have that being consistent between the vehicles. It would also mean that something like this vehicle would have some specific value as a default, and that would then also be available for other vehicles as well. So maybe something with very stiff springs by default would right now not ever be able to equip something as wonky as this one here. Not entirely sure if you want that, but it should be an option. I mean, you can turn a lot of things into off-road vehicles or just put them on their sides. Also, I forgot to check does it have a winch? I don't think I saw it having winch options, but yeah, before we end this entire thing, let's go there. Also, this is another place where we can now get this vehicle. Also, the campy is alongside it, which is nice. Oh god. Yeah, definitely need to do something about the suspension, but this thing is fun. I'll have to see if I can do much with the roof rack. Maybe I can use it for some military crates or so, just having a fast delivery vehicle for only a few crates at a time. But other than that, I don't know. Certainly stuff to be done with this one. Okay, last one here, checking the for winches. Just checking the shop here, and then no winches. Okay. So we'll see what I can do with this thing in another episode. I don't really have much of a plan for it. We'll likely give it an off-road setup. I mean, it's kind of predestined for that. And we'll likely see it in another episode sooner or later. But right now, no concrete plans for it. But certainly a fun vehicle. Anyways, before my voice gives out completely or my throat kills me, thanks for watching. Have a good one. See you next time. Bye bye.